One of the biggest challenges that we face diving underwater is that the water itself absorbs just so many signal wavelengths that we use to communicate in our surface world. So you can be like just underwater right next to a signal tower and it wouldn't matter because the water would block that signal. But the clever people at DIVEVOLK have come up with a way around that so that you can effectively use your smartphone to live stream from the reef just as long as you have mobile signal. Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Yes, along with a range of their camera accessories, DIVEVOLK sent me one of their SeaLink underwater smartphone data transmitters, which is a complete unit with a floating broadcast transmitter receiver with a touchscreen phone case and room for accessories. But what it simply allows you to do is to use your smartphone as if you were on the surface down to 30 meters. So anything from live streaming footage to like in the moment research. If you see a fish, you can look up which particular fish species it is whilst you're in the water. You can see it here in its full glory, but let's actually pack it down and see how you can transport it. This is how it arrives. So a big rigid case, decent grab handle on the top, feet on the bottom and everything, proper locking mechanisms and everything with a key, so it's going to be safe inside the box. So a few of the components are connected together, so getting it out is going to be a little bit awkward, but I'll still show you all the different pieces. So one of the easiest bits is a mesh drying bag, so you get a mesh bag to throw bits and bobs in if you so wish, and yeah, because it's mesh, it's going to help drip dry and everything. You also have a protective case for the actual phone case that helps to protect the lens and the screen, so when it's in storage or when it's in the water and it's not being used, you can kind of just fit this on. It's elasticated, so it goes over it, it protects it from scratches and bumps and stuff, so that's a handy accessory. You also get, if I can pull it out, this is a handy thing. It starts off, you think that it's just like a warning label or something, but actually what it's made for, it's a semi-rigid piece of plastic, and it's basically so that when you put your phone in and then it touches the screen, if you then try and get it out, it kind of sticks. So what you can do is just slide this between your phone and the case, and it helps to just extract it that much more easily. You get a pair of cradles in here. You can obviously switch these out for different models. This one, for example, is for the iPhone 12, 13, 14, 15 Pro Max, and the iPhone 14 and 15 Plus. This one is for iPhone 12. So you get all these sort of different inserts for different phone shapes, and if you talk with DIVEVOLK, they can actually 3D print, which they did for my phone. They'll 3D print one specifically for your particular model. So they have a dedicated slot in this phone case, which is quite handy. You get a little case, which is for anything you want, really, but I'd use it for like replacement seals, replacement batteries, that kind of stuff, and it's just a small rigid case. A recharging cradle, a USB recharging cradle for the rechargeable batteries, and that's USB-C to regular like USB. You get replacement parts. So a replacement seal for the doors, some tools and cleaning sort of bits and bobs, and some DIVEVOLK stickers if you want to represent. Then we get into the main stuff, shall we say. So the first bit, and because it's all sort of tethered, I'll show you in sort of B-roll. So you get the actual phone case with the reel for the wire. So the wire is what, 30 meters, I believe, and it's got a ratchet system. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but yeah, it all sort of comes down with you, and then that's tethered to the surface. You get the surface floats, which all collapse in on themselves, so it packs away a bit more neatly, and then you can unfurl them for better stability. Then you get the actual transmitter sort of section and a diver down little sock. It's not quite a flag. It goes over that transmitter section, and yeah, it just makes it a bit brighter when you're in the surface, a bit like an SMB. You also get a pair of keys for the box so that you can lock it up. But yeah, let's take a closer look at the whole unit when it's fully assembled. That big case measures in at 59 by 39 by 16 centimeters, and everything inside the case, well, including the case, weighs in at around 9.5 kilos. The handset will sink. It's negatively buoyant. It's about minus 360 grams in salt water. Obviously, depending on which phone you use, there may be some slight variance, and of course water salinity, but there are plenty of attachment options to add, like lighting and floats and lens accessories and things. So just in its like current state, yeah, that's how sinky it is. Powered by 4 21700 rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, which can support upwards of 60 hours of normal runtime. And if you like, you can just cut that down to just 2 batteries, which obviously halves the runtime. But if you only have like a short dive, then that's an option for you. The handset is very similar to their SeaTouch housing, with a double screw locking door on the top with a large SeaLink gasket. Inside is a plastic cradle that holds your phone in a particular position. Critical components are made from 316 stainless steel for strength and corrosion resistance. A large 82 by 60 mm screen allows for a range of camera locations on modern smartphones, because they always like to change where that camera lens actually is. There are limits though. You can fit quite a few different phone designs out there, and DIVEVOLK actually make the actual cradles themselves. So your phone can't be any larger than 180 by 82.5 by 11.2 millimeters, with a camera bump thickness of up to 15 millimeters. Any larger than that, and it probably won't fit, but you can always pop them a message and just say, hey, I have this particular model, will this work? The screen window on like the diver facing side has a dual film membrane. It's like a hard bottom layer on the inside plus a stretchable upper layer with a non-compressible liquid between the films. So it's effectively a touchscreen, but with that like fluid in the middle. Pressure tested and scratch tested to 100,000 cycles. They've made sure that it's not like a single-use thing. It's got that squidgy consistency that you do have to push through to activate the touchscreen on your phone, but it does work. In fact, for the best performance, DIVEVOLK recommend that you remove like any thick screen protectors that you may have on your phone, and there are certain accessibility modes on your phone to make it a little bit easier. One clever feature that you can't really see and I can't really show you is that on the inside there's a pressure balance system built into the grip. So the housing equalizes as you descend, because whilst the fluid in the touchscreen isn't affected by the pressure, the airspace inside the housing will be. So DIVEVOLK engineered a pressure balance mechanism to allow for that compression and expansion during the dive. The biggest changes though to the SeaTouch are that it comes fitted with these dual grips and a big spool on the front for the wire. The dual handles are really made for vertical use. They're a little awkward to use horizontally. So yeah, filming upright is kind of how you have to go. You can like hold it sideways, but yeah, it's just a little awkward. The bottom of the handles, as you can see, allow it to stand up, which is nice so your housing doesn't fall over. You've got that protective cover and everything just to protect it whilst it's on the deck or whatnot. Several mounting points on the handles with the standard 1/4 inch screw threads to mount like ball joints or other accessories for lighting or whatever you need on the top. And then you've got the larger screw mount for a lens adapter. So again, we see this on the SeaTouch. You can mount a little arm that can fit over the camera lens, and you can fit like wide angle lenses, red filters, whatever you like. On the front, you have the wire spool with a one-way ratchet mechanism. You can wind it in easily with the handle, and there's a little rubberized guide on the end there that does a very clever job of holding the wire in place so it doesn't feed in or feed out to create an entanglement. It's only when you're actually paying out line or you're winding it in that it allows it to pull through. The arm is a little flexible for my liking, but for the amount of load that's going on it, it should be fine, and it's fairly protected, so you don't have to worry too much about it. To pay out wire, there's a trigger on one side, and there's about 30 meters of wire on this spool. But of course, just remember, if there's any kind of water movement, that wire will start to bow the longer it is, and the surface unit is going to start to move, so that wire is going to go diagonal in the water, and you won't be able to actually reach that 30 meters of depth. So there's 30 meters of wire. If you're in like a swimming pool, then yeah, you can get down to the 30 meters. In actual ocean territory, you might not be able to reach that maximum depth because you're constrained by that wire. Setup only takes a minute or two. Inside the body is a SIM card housing, so you can pop that inside of the little tray, inside of the main body, and then lock that into place to keep that above water. The antenna has a simple bayonet twist to lock that in position. They're all attached by the wires, so you can't leave one piece at home. You load the batteries and screw the door closed. Again, that little battery housing is attached, so if you're on the deck of a boat and it's kind of moving and you accidentally let go of it, it's not going to just throw the batteries overboard. It is actually attached, so you don't have to worry too much about them. The outriggers, they're held in with a little latch on the underside. You can twist them out, but it's best if you push on the spring latch on the top of it, and that extends the metal arm until it locks into full extension. The floats themselves are soft rubber bags with a slide opening. Open up that slide, pull on the float, and it kind of sucks the air in, and then once it's at maximum capacity, close the slide and it holds that gas inside. Press on the switch and it all wakes up. Inside of the handset itself broadcasts a Wi-Fi signal that you can then pair your phone to, and then you effectively use your own mobile signal from there. You can use your phone as normal, as if you were on the surface. Pop the phone into the cradle, slide that in, and then just the two screws just lock that in place. It's very well constructed. Everything feels very strong and robust. The outriggers, they're all hinged, so it gives them a decent amount of fluidity on the surface. The wire has a bungee system on the surface to take some of that yanking out of it if the water's moving on the surface, and the cable itself has a 5 kilogram tension limit. All in, that makes it a very useful tool for quite a range of underwater jobs. I mean, things like surveys and research obviously come to mind. If you need to show somebody on the surface what's going on underwater in real time, it's easy. You can communicate with people, obviously. You can live stream what you're looking at, and there are live streams on the DIVEVOLK website that you can check out. You can look things up on the internet, as I said. You can even check your emails on a safety stop if you've got nothing better to do. But yeah, if you've got to do some kind of work and you're not quite sure sort of what's going on, you can actually search for it online on the go as if you were on the surface. But yeah, that's the DIVEVOLK SeaLink underwater smartphone data transmitter. A pretty remarkable piece of kit that really bridges that gap between the surface and the depths. It's not something that every diver will need, but if you're into underwater research, live streaming, or documenting your dives in real time, this really does open up a new world of possibilities. But what do you think? Would you be live streaming your dives, or would this be useful in your line of work? Let me know in your comments below. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our latest dive gear reviews or underwater adventures. Remember to head over to the DIVEVOLK website and check out their YouTube channel if you want to see any of their live streams. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.